Okay, so this year I didn't have a chance to go there, but from my last year's observation, when it was the time for Juma prayers, there were so many Christian brothers and sisters that joined us for the Friday prayer. And that's the kind of curiosity that I can say. So you have to be excited to know about the other part, to live with them in harmony. Another thing is practicing empathy. Sometimes you have to put yourself under someone else's shoes. You have to give yourself that feeling of what it means to be them. When you have empathy with one another, it will be easy for us to live in harmony with one another. Try to understand their feelings and viewpoints, and this will deepen connections and foster mutual respect. Another thing is educate yourself. There is one saying that I heard this year that if you have never gotten a chance to taste your neighbor's food, you might think that your own life, your mother is the best cook, while there are better cooks outside. And that doesn't directly mean that way. It translates to many other things, like in the case of diversity, you might think that you do something very well while there are other people who are doing it better than the way you think you are doing it. Another one is creating inclusive spaces. Foster environments where everyone feels welcome and valued. Here I would like to appreciate Uncle Tim. Whenever Uncle Tim shared, you just find him using spiritual quotations like scriptures from the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. And in that sense, people from Islamic background and Christian background feel included. Another one is sharing experiences. It's good to be open about your own background and experiences because vulnerability can build trust. If you can't be vulnerable, you can't share about yourself, you can't be open to others, it is very difficult for others to open up to you. So let's just be vulnerable in order to create this relationship with different people. And another thing, be mindful of bias. Maybe some people have a dressing style that you don't like, or you don't like the way they pray. Do not show bias. Like, these Pentecostals pray with lots of noise and screams, and these Muslims overdress themselves. How can you cover your face? How do you see where you are stepping while you're walking? So let's be mindful of our biases. Yeah, another thing is engaging in collaborative activities. Participate in community service and group projects that encourage teamwork across backgrounds. So you can go to different social activities like cleanups, marathons. You indulge yourself in different activities that will make you create a positive energy towards someone from a different background. Another thing is celebrating diversity. Yeah, we are encouraged to celebrate diversity both in personal and group settings. When we celebrate different traditions and perspectives, it is very difficult for us to feel the bias or the difference that's among us. Another thing is being patient and forgiving. Forgiveness is a very wide topic, and patience is very hard, but you just have to be patient. Yeah. Another thing is humility. To have harmony in diversity, you really have to be humble. we have to consider ourselves equal despite coming from different backgrounds. There is this example that someone really likes to use, referring to God and His favors, that if God was favoring the ones who are not sinning and not, okay, when the rain comes, does it choose that the sinners, the non-sinners get the rain and the ones who are not sinning not getting the rain? So we should be humble because we are all equal under the eyes of God. Yeah, another thing is seeking feedback. Ask for input on how you can be more inclusive and supportive. This shows how you value others' perspectives. I think this is very useful to you student leaders, because I know you are leading people from different backgrounds and institutions. So you can have frequent conversations with them on how you can improve through seeking feedback and listening to their advices. And I think lastly, I'll provide some verses from the Quran perspective. Quran chapter 49, Surah Al-Hujurat, it says, "O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another." And from the Bible, from the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 26 to 27, it says, "From one man he made every nation of men that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he determined their appointed times and the boundaries of their lands. God intended that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us." So even our holy books are encouraging us to get to know one another and to live with one another peacefully. So I'll urge every one of the student leaders here and the rest of the members of the floor to reconcile and live in harmony with one another if we want to be better leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.